comment.
Thank you, Deputy
Speaker. Thank you indeed. I can't claim indeed, Deputy Speaker, to have the largest electorate in the country, but I can claim to have the largest electorate in the state of Tasmania, and I'm more than happy. I'm more than happy to stand in front of my constituents and explain the benefits of good public policy. Good public policy that is something that the Labor Party once believed in, once had principles, once believed and once stood for something. It was interesting, Deputy Speaker, to pick up today the financial review, and that well-known supporter of the Liberal Party, Laura Tingle, today starts off by saying, Deputy Speaker, if I may quote, "If there is one budget measure that Labor and the Greens really should have supported, it was the move to reinstate indexation on fuel excise." Deputy Speaker, she goes on to say, and I found this more and more interesting as the article went, after all, it would have been the coalition, not Labor, that bore the opprobrium, and both sides of politics and the budget, bottom line, would have benefited from the move, because, Deputy Speaker, we do believe that it is important to fix the budget. It was one of the fundamental commitments that we went to the election in September of 2013, saying that we would restore faith in government, we would restore faith in and respect for the finances that are the product of the taxpayers of this country. I go on to say, and I hesitate here, but in what was a too clever by half punt, Labor thought it could get the best of both worlds by counting on the Greens to support the coalition on the indexation move, thus avoiding any political fallout but gaining the revenue whenever it eventually gets back into government, and goodness knows when that might be, despite never having had the courage to make the move on fuel excise itself when it was for 6 long years, Deputy Speaker, in government. And I think the key word there is courage, Deputy Speaker, and lack of courage, lack of principle on behalf of those on the other side, because this is a budget that our country needs. This is a budget. We know that some of these measures may not be popular. The fact that the excise is going to roads will be a valuable contribution to regional Australia. Certainly in my electorate of Lyons, there are many roads that will benefit from an excise of a very modest nature to the fuel excise that will be put and legislated to be put back into the roads, and some of that will be in regional Australia. We were elected to do a job, Deputy Speaker, and that was to fix the mess that was left by the previous government, and fix it we will. The rate of excise and excise equivalent customs duty on most fuels was last changed in March of 2001, 13 years post, Deputy Speaker. The rate at that time was 38.143 cents of litre, as it's effectively been eroded over the time. So the fundamental principle of this excise, to be able to reinvest in roads, to reinvest in infrastructure, has been eroded through a lack of courage. In 2001, it represented roughly, Deputy Speaker, around 41.5% of the price of petrol at that time. Today, nationally, it's around 25%, and I'd say it's a little less than that in my state of Tasmania. And we're prepared, when good policy is put in front of us, to look at those things. It's important also to note for regional Australia that the level of fuel excise won't affect businesses operating vehicles greater than a 4.5 tonne gross vehicle mass. That vehicles used, importantly in my electorate, Deputy Speaker, the many farmers and the people that do work and generate, employ people and generate wealth within my communities, they will not be affected also for off-road purposes. The fuel tax credits that they rightly receive are offset entirely the increase in the fuel excise. Deputy Speaker, this is sensible policy. This is good policy. We understand on this side that some of the measures in the budget that we've brought down are not popular, but we are a government that needs to fix the mess that Australia was left with after 6 years of Labor. We are up for the job, we are committed to the task, and this is one small measure of good public policy that should be supported by the Greens, but it also should be supported by the Labor Party if they believed in something and if they stood for something. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
I thank the